Good afternoon and welcome to our webinar on improving school image. My name is Dave Riegel and I'm the principal of Irmo High School International School for the Arts in School District 5 of Lexington and Richland counties.
And I'm Katrina Goggins, Director of Communications for School District 5 of Lexington and Richland counties. Irmo High School has a lot to offer. Excellent academics, activities, and extracurricular activities. But rather than tell you about it, we want to show you in the short video.
So our purpose today is to cover several topics. We're going to discuss branding and appearance, getting your community involved on campus and off, current trends in communications as they affect schools, maximizing your social media presence, and utilizing the news media to your advantage. Now, as we begin talking about branding and appearance, we will start by giving a little bit of background about our school. In 2013, Irmo High School was part of a very large federal grant for magnet schools that was awarded to District 5. And as a part of that, it gave us an opportunity to rebrand our school as an arts-themed magnet school. We had an IB program that was very successful and that we were growing, and now we were adding to that theme an arts program. And we wanted to emphasize two things. Number one, there was a proud past of Irmo High School with just many famous alumni, state championships, a long track record of academic success that was very well known in our community and in our state. But also we wanted to emphasize that academic excellence was not in the past. It was something that was still going on and that was going to be part of our future for a very long time. So to emphasize that, we came up with a slogan, a proud past, a bright future. With this slogan and with our motto and with our new branding as an arts magnet, it gave us an opportunity to sort of reinvent ourselves as a school, and we wanted to maximize our publicity in order to make that happen. So also as part of this rebranding, we also renamed our school from Irmo High School to Irmo High School International School for the Arts. This renaming of our school was really critical because we wanted to preserve the name Irmo High School because it had such good name recognition in the community. But we wanted to add the words international and arts to emphasize our international baccalaureate program and also our emerging fine arts program, which was going to be enhanced by a brand new performing arts center, which would be the centerpiece of our campus. A very important part of this reinvention of our school was to change the look on the outside of the campus. And so we needed to make sure that everything was woven together in terms of our theme and our overall appearance. As we said on the previous slide, we were very fortunate to have a bond referendum that allowed for construction of new facilities on our campus, and that made a huge difference. However, we also had the opportunity to remove some fencing and replace it with trees. We had a great deal of new signage. We had new landscaping, and we really worked together as a school community and as a district to greatly enhance and improve the overall look of our school, which is very important because of our location. We have literally tens of thousands of vehicles driving by our campus every day, and we really needed the look of the campus from the outside to match what we were trying to do thematically. Once again, the appearance involved a lot of different things, including landscaping, including trees, but we also had an old granite marker which we revitalized and connected to the proud past, but we also added a great deal of directional signage to make locating things on campus easier, and that signage was all connected to the theme of the school. One of the major upgrades to our campus was privately funded by the Michael J. Mungo Foundation, which was a brick wall with a sign bearing the name of Irmo High School on the corner of St. Andrews Road and Emory Road. That was possible because of our community involvement. And so the next part of our presentation, we want to talk about how we get our students out into the community and how we bring the community into our school to try to enhance the overall image of our school. One concrete example of community involvement that connects with our arts theme is our annual Goodwill Brunch. We've been doing this for 5 years now, and we do it as a partnership with the Irmo Chapin Recreation Commission. This Goodwill Brunch involves inviting anywhere from 200 to 300 senior citizens to our campus right before the holidays, the winter holidays, and we feed them a brunch that's prepared. It's either catered or prepared by our student nutrition staff. Our partnership with Irmo Chapin makes that possible. They pay for that, and they also bring a number of people in for this event from the community, in addition to the people that we invite. And in the process of celebrating this event, we also provide a performance including a number of our students, orchestra, theater, chorus, all of our arts divisions are involved in this presentation for our guests. This does a tremendous amount of quote-unquote goodwill by making the senior citizens who visit our school feel good not only about the school but about the students themselves. They get to meet and interact and greet our students so that they can go out into the community and talk about what wonderful kids we have at our school. At Irmo High School, we've worked very hard to try to connect with community organizations such as the Optimist Club of St. Andrews Irmo and other local organizations. And by doing so, it has allowed our students to gain new community service opportunities, and it's also allowed more opportunities for people from the community to interact with our students. The benefit of that is twofold. Obviously, it's good for our students to have service learning, but the other benefit is when our students are out collecting food donations for a snack pack food drive and they interact with people in our community, people in our community that have those interactions will go forth and tell everyone else what great students we have at Irmo High School. So it just creates a sense of witnessing how good our students really are. In an effort to actually teach students to do community service rather than just telling them to perform community service, we began sponsoring a community service day every spring at Irmo High School. We named this the Irmo Pride Day, and we encourage students to come in on a Saturday morning, and we do projects around campus, but we also go out into the community, whether it's for a food drive, whether it's to work at Lisa's Care Connection, or various other opportunities. Our students become visible in the community doing community service, which also gives us a chance to take pictures, do news stories, and create a lot of positive publicity about our students as they perform community service. My advice for a school that wanted to work on their image in the community using community involvement would be to utilize your school's theme or the things that your school is really good at as a way of providing that kind of service and community involvement. For example, with the Goodwill Brunch, we use our artistic skills of our students as a way to provide community service to the senior citizens in our community. We also have a choir that goes out and performs at churches, for example. Our musicians go out and perform at all different kinds of venues around our community. Those are examples of community service opportunities for our students. We try to involve parent organizations, and we also want to make sure that we always publicize any of those good events and good works that our students do out in the community.
Thank you, Mr. Regal. In these next few slides, we wanted to give you some charts that show the changing landscape of news media and how we've chosen to respond to this in the communications office to help us tell the story of Irmo High School and other schools in our district. So this first slide shows just the changing landscape in print media. Years ago, print media would be the primary source for people to get their news. Well, you can see that circulation has continued to decline since 2014. This chart shows the change in average weekday and Sunday circulation, and both experienced a heavy dip in 2010, a little bit of a spike in 2014, but it's on the decline now. This next slide just further illustrates that change in daily newspaper circulation. You can see across demographics there is a heavy dip in the number of people, the percentage of people who read daily papers. That second slide shows the Sunday edition, and both are on the decline. For us, this next graph is most telling. This next slide, it shows how people want to receive their information today. So the red line is online, and that blue line is television. You can see those are the primary sources, but the next two lines are telling as well. You see that heavy dip in print media, and that green line is where we've decided to focus a lot of our energies on social media. So I think the slides you saw before showed how difficult it is to get that positive news and tell the stories about our school. We are leaning very heavily on video and putting that online, and also on social media to help inform our community and let them know the good stories about our schools. As we said in the previous slide, social media is a great tool for telling your school's story. However, there are a number of questions you need to ask yourself before deciding to delve into social media. Number one, how can you coordinate and control the various social media accounts in your school? It's important that those are monitored regularly and questions are answered if you get any inquiries. Two, does each sport or club have an account? And third, are your school leaders aware of these, and how are they watched?
So at Irmo High School, we have numerous individual accounts for teachers and also for clubs and activities. And I think it's very important as a principal and as a school community to monitor all of these different accounts, because they all have your school's name on them. And you want to make sure that they're positive and they're sending the kinds of messages that you want to send. One of the things I did very early in my tenure was to create my own Twitter account and build up as many followers among the students as I could. In turn, I followed every school-based account, every employee-based account that I could find, and that way I received notifications on all of these, and I had access in real time to just about everything that was posted on social media in my school that was semi-official in terms of the school community. So I think it's very important that either the principal or somebody that the principal designates and trusts has this sort of a king account that monitors everything else that goes on. It's very easy to start having messages going out there that you as a principal don't want to see, or that don't have the level of positivity that you want, or don't express the mission and values of your school and your school community.
And I'll add to that, on the district level, we work very closely with the schools to try to monitor what's out there. We also provide training, so each school has a social media lead or a coordinator that works with our social media lead at the district office, and that together helps us kind of monitor and streamline what we put out on social media. So as we said in the previous slide, the district really does try to coordinate with the schools to provide training and make sure that our social media leads have what they need. Managing your social media account includes monitoring the sites, as we said before, often, and having a system in place for providing responses. So if there's ever a question on the school level about a response to a parent who might make an inquiry, the district really works with the school to provide that.
One thing, a couple of cautions that I can offer. One is simply be careful who is following you and also who you follow and or retweet. There are all kinds of examples from the public sector, from celebrities and politicians who have retweeted things that they didn't really carefully look at, and they didn't see what kind of a site it was or what kind of a Twitter account it was. And those kinds of things can create some embarrassment and some confusion. It's also very important, if you're a principal, to be monitoring the students that are following you. I unfortunately had to block students every once in a while simply because their account might not be something that I wanted associated with the school in any way. So I not only kept track of who I was following, but I kept very close tabs on who was following me. And you don't want somebody retweeting you that may not be a good representative for you or for your school. So I think it is time consuming because you have to watch these things. I also think there are lots of ways that you can be very creative in terms of building followers and inviting parents and students through giveaways, through just promotions. But most importantly is to have fresh content as much as possible. And if you can do that, your following will grow.
And we'll just add one more thing. A system that works good for both schools and businesses is making sure that you have more than one set of eyes on a social media post before it is posted. So in a lot of businesses, they use that draft feature. One person writes a draft, another person kind of looks at it before. It could be your social media lead or even the district if there's anything questionable. And that way you have an approval process for posts before it's sent out. So let's talk for a moment about Facebook. For us, we have noted that Facebook is a good tool for reaching an older demographic, primarily our teachers and our parents. Posts about people seem to perform well, staff, students, especially teachers. We've seen a lot of engagement on those, and video prompts more engagement. So we've really been putting our investments there and doing more district video, and that's worked well for us.
We have been very successful this year in growing our school Facebook account quite a bit. And Facebook is very popular with parents. It's not as popular with students, although you will have some traffic from your students. And as Mrs. Goggins said, video is terrific, but even more significant to parents is seeing pictures of kids being successful, getting awards, being recognized, teachers being recognized, things that are going on in the classroom, all of those kinds of activity, athletics of course as well, all of that kind of activity gets more followers. And if you have frequent postings onto your Facebook page, it will grow as people begin to share those items. Also, depending on your district's policy, it can be time consuming to double check all of the media consents for any student pictures. And if you have a parent, volunteer, or a clerical staff in your building that assists you with this, it's important that they understand your district policies in terms of media consent.
And I'll just add one more thing. That last bullet mentions Facebook Live, which does get good performance on our social media sites, but not every event is appropriate for a Facebook Live. It takes a lot of pre-planning, it takes a lot of pre-thought to decide what events might be good for that platform. So an assembly, yes, but you really need to think about what students can be filmed. So it does take some pre-work. It's live, but we want to make sure that what we present live is appropriate. So this slide gives you an example of an Irmo High School retweet that the district posted that performed well. Be All You Can Be. As Mr. Regal mentioned the previous slide, parents love to see information about their students or awards, things like that. So on Twitter, we have more of our parents following there. Twitter is quick. It's an immediate way to send information. It can seem immediate, but remember you want that second set of eyes on the information as well. You can schedule tweets through Hootsuite and some other software that's free and online. And then encourage your student council, SIC, PTO groups to follow, like your pages, and retweet, which always grows your engagement. As we mentioned before, it's really a challenge to get what we call earned media on our traditional media outlets. The newspaper sizes have kind of shrunk, and media outlets are pressed to go with breaking news. So what we found is we want to utilize our weekly and online media outlets a little bit more. We are looking at advertisements, special inserts with our weeklies, which really get a lot of traction in our area. We also send out a lot of press releases in District 5, several a week, and we constantly update our media contacts because we know that they have quick turnaround in a lot of our broadcast stations with reporters. So you always constantly have to be looking for new reporters and update your contact lists. And media relations, we definitely monitor our news stories and we try to pitch story ideas. It may be difficult, but on a slow news day, you might be able to get some positive publicity for your schools. So the video you just saw was an example of a press release that really got a lot of play nationally and internationally. The BBC visited Irmo High School a few years back and did a story on anonymous alerts. A lot of positive publicity from a press release we did based on a good idea from Irmo High School.
And that concludes our webinar, and we hope this has been helpful for you. You certainly can reach out to either myself or Mrs. Goggins, and this last slide has our contact information. I think what I would say in conclusion is you really can create positive images about your school and positive perceptions about your school through smart use of social media, traditional media, and also by reaching out into the community and thinking about how those people interact with your school.